Sox postgame show presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download the app today and use promo code CHGO when you sign up. Welcome into Studio A of our CHGO offices here in the West Loop of Chicago. Herb, the A stands for sweep that ass. The A in ass. Welcome in. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. You can follow me on Twitter at Sean_W_Anderson. Alongside me is Herb Lawrenc.
Hello.
You can follow him on Twitter at EcknerWall23. He's our CHGO White Sox community leader. Being produced today by Stephen Nicholas, and will be joined later by Vinnie Duber, our CHGO White Sox beat writer. Couldn't think of the team. But they won today. Hey, and guess what, Herb? They won on Friday. They won on Saturday. And again, I just said they won on Sunday. That's 3 in a row. That word doesn't roll off the tongue. That's called, in baseball terms, a sweep.
Indeed.
6-2 over the Tigers. How do you feel?
I'm feeling good. I mean, yesterday's game sucked. They won. Today's game sucked for the most part until the end of the game. But as beggars, we cannot be choosers, and especially the White Sox now 26-35. Going into the boogie down on Tuesday, I feel much better than last weekend where they got beat 3 out of 4 by these same Motor City Kitties. But there's still a lot to be improved upon. But hey, while you're playing shitty, how about you win some games? It feels good. This is the last time they're going to be playing versus AL Central teams for a while now, but while they're bad, I see people like, oh, it's just 500 teams. Like, Tom, it's like, you have to beat them. They're on the schedule. You have to beat them. And why not? They've been losing to 500 teams, so how about you beat a couple of 500 teams? That's how I feel. I feel great about the victory, but the team, yes, still needs some improvement. They can work on the improvement while getting dubs, though. Yeah,
I think I did the math earlier. You combine last year and this year, their run differential is now -78. So, they're not a good baseball team. We understand that, but it's good to see some wins happen. Mm-hmm. And hey, Michael Kopech went 7 innings and looked damn good. I was worried that the Detroit Tigers. I understand that they're Detroit Tigers. They're still above us in the standings. Didn't do well last time they saw him. And we could just say that all the way till last year because I think the Tigers went 0 for 30 until an Akil Baddoo bunt single, and then a Spencer Torkelson home run ruined that party rather quickly. Yeah. But he looked really, really good, and he was really, really efficient today. So very, very good signs this series. Not great signs, though. Jake Burger's home run, although it came in the last at-bat, was their only home run this series. Better late than never, but also it was really cool when he hit the home run and all the fireworks went off. Yeah. I like that. I'm not going to lie, Herb.
Yeah, I mean,
Vinny clicked him to pick, and Vinny wins click to pick on the last at-bat.
That's how it works. And
it's why the segment sucks, too, because we don't have to have a conversation.
No, it's an astute observation by Jake Burger, knowing that the two guys before him walked. And Alex Lang didn't have his usual stuff where he was making Eloy and Robert look like they never swung a bat on Saturday. He saw that this guy doesn't have his stuff, so he can't throw that curveball that is devastating. So I'm going to look for a pitch in the zone and drive it wherever I need to. He threw that curveball a little higher, and he crushed it. And you see, our guy Stephen Nicholas approves of the hustle out of the box by Jake Burger. Didn't need to because that ball off the bat, even if it wasn't a home run, would have did the job. But, Jake Burger out here hustling like his life depended on it. And Steve was like, oh, man, that hustle on that grand slam.
You never get enough of it.
That was perfect. Old man Steven, 30-year-old Steven over here talking about hustle. But, yeah, the series 3-0 to win it is fantastic. But there are things about this team that won't play in New York.
Yes.
That won't play other places. So they need to, take this momentum, enjoy themselves tonight, have a good party, enjoy the off day, fly to New York and find those things that, better hitting, better situational hitting, because the New York Yankees don't play that. They will bludgeon that pitching staff if they leave balls on the plate. But what you were saying, Michael Kopech, the thing that I love the most, as always when a Michael Kopech start where it's good, the lack of walks. He was on top of his game. And maybe sometimes you just see a team and you know that they can't fuck with you. he sees his Detroit Tigers, and he can't fuck with them. It's a smart idea by Akil Baddoo to bunt to break up the rhythm, break up everything, steals, and then immediately a home run by Spencer Torkelson. But that was it. That's it. That's pretty dominant.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's nothing to say wrong about Michael's day. And, I mean, some people, even Steven said that the 0-2 pitch to Torkelson was a mistake. You know, I mean, I've seen worse mistakes. Have you ever seen Lance Lynn throw a fastball to Shohei Ohtani?
I don't think that was a mistake at all.
It was the reason I said it was a mistake. He missed his spot. It wasn't a mistake as far as location's concerned, but it wasn't where he wanted it either. It
wasn't a meatball.
No,
it was a pretty well-located
lower inner
slider, curveball that Torkelson put bat on ball.
You see,
barreled it up and gone.
You see why that guy goes top 5?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I definitely couldn't do that. I mean, he just kept his body extremely tight, just recognized it wasn't a fastball, and just hit the shit out of it.
Yeah,
I mean that's a highlight reel home run. I'm not super upset with Michael on that because again, he went 7 innings and 92 pitches,
That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, hell yeah, Michael.
And a regular start.
That's amazing.
That's 4 innings for him. He's getting 25 in the first inning because he's trying so hard to strike everybody out and trying to find his release point and his location. But this one is efficiency. It was just so crisp. That was perfectly done by Michael Kopech. I think it could have came out maybe for the 8th, but the White Sox bullpen did the job. Of course, our guy Liam Hendriks with that 9th inning of nothingness.
Well, Albert brings up a point that I will say is on Kopech. You can also throw it on Grandal as well. But 3 stolen bases today for the Tiger. Baez had 2, and he stole 1. He stole second base, and then he said, "Oh, that was easy. I'll steal third base as well." And then Akil Baddoo was that after he bunted?
That was after he bunted.
Okay, and then didn't really matter because Torkelson again hit the shit out of the ball.
Yeah.
But Baddoo stole second pretty easily, and it was funny because Steve Stone was like, "And Akil Baddoo will be running, and he's off,
gone,
and he stole second."
That's a good combination to run against. Michael Kopech not fast to the plate, and Yasmani Grandal. And I even mentioned to you, it was like, he doesn't stand up to throw the ball at all. He just is on his knees and throwing a ball not very fast to second base. And Akil Baddoo had that base stolen easily, very easily. And you brought up a point why he doesn't stand up. But I was like, ugh, if you can't throw a guy out at all, what do you do here? What do you do here, Yasmani? Because he hasn't hit for power. He can't catch. And he can't throw anybody out. I don't know what he does this year. His power hasn't come around. His hitting's been fine, but I'd rather him hit 218 and have a 385 on base than what he's doing this year.
Well, when he was signed, he was a positive framer, and I think that got conflated with a good defensive catcher.
Exactly.
And, he's a fine framer, but overall, poor defensively. And you're right. When he's not hitting for power and when he's not walking, I haven't seen a lot of Jordan Lazowski, and not to bash Jordan. This is Yasmani not walking. I mean, Jordan can only post the GIF when Yasmani walks, but I haven't seen a ton of Billy Bean, and that's why we love him.
Yeah.
We love him when he walks. Not seeing a lot of that. I don't think we should be liking Yasmani Grandal, and he leaves the game after a ground out. So, again, I'm not sure how his back is feeling. I'm not sure how healthy he is, and I get that he's playing through it. I'm not trying to bash the person because I think he's doing what he wants to do, and we know that he is a very intense person. But at some point, I think the White Sox have to step in and say, hey, buddy, Carlos Perez is going to help us out a little bit more right now. You need to get healthier. You need 15 days on the IL. And, again, just when they're getting healthy, just when Eloy is back and playing 6 of 7 games in right field, Robertson center, Tim's at shortstop, Yohan's at third, not today, but came in later in the game on a normal off day. Benny's in left, and they have Grandal at catcher. This is the time when they should be winning games. And, of course, all these guys, or most of these guys, are healthy. They sweep. That's great. That's a pretty good sign. But again, how healthy is Grandal, and how quickly will all of this, like a house of cards, just fall apart? Before we get into the seriousness and the White Sox gloom and doom, make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button. We're at Brent Lillibridge, Thrillabridge. Keep it alive. Who else is 18? Daniel Palka.
Yeah.
Anyone else? You okay?
I'm done.
Okay.
I've hit my limit of White Sox 18s.
Let's go to the ninth inning.
Terry Bevington, maybe. The manager.
Manager? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll check that out for you. Let's go to the weird 9th inning because I don't know what our manager was going to do defensively if there was a 10th inning. So Clint Frazier was supposed to lead off the 9th inning. Andrew Benintendi, who had the off day because Matthew Boyd was on the bump, even though he had decent career numbers against Boyd, as Stephen pointed out before the game, he comes in to pinch hit against Lang. He drives one back up the middle for a single. He gets on first base. Then Romy Gonzalez, who was 0 for 3 on the day, gets pinch hit for Gavin Sheets. Lefty versus righty. Makes sense. Gavin hasn't played a ton of second base, though, and we already know Zavala has come in, so the White Sox bench is a little bit thinner than before. So Sheets comes up, and he strikes out. Yep. Then Elvis Andrus comes up, and I think he's making one of, if not a very few, career appearances at third base today.
Yes.
Yoan Moncada pinch hits for him, hits from the left side against Lang. He draws a walk. Then comes up, he draws a walk, Burger, cleans up the mess, drives everyone home, drive home safely. But what?
I'm waiting for what you're going to say.
So we know if Burger, whatever, maybe he grounds into a double play, Alex Lang does his job again against the White Sox. There's a 10th inning. Tim's obviously staying shortstop.
Correct.
We don't think Jake Burger would get subbed for at DH, but we'll get to it.
Can't.
Luis Roberts stays in center field.
There's no one else available.
Luis Roberts stays in center field.
Yeah.
Eloy would stay in right field.
Correct.
Vaughn would stay at first. Zavala would have to catch because who else would catch? Benny would just stay in left field as he pinch hit for Frazier, who started in left field. Gavin Sheets would make his debut at second base. Andrew Vaughn would slide over. Yoan Moncada obviously would stay at third base. But then, do they then just put Jake Burger at second base? And then do we see Jake Burger at second base and Eloy Jimenez in right field and the pitcher hits ninth then? Whenever then we see Liam Hendriks out on fucking second base again? What happens
that would be the thing you would have to choose. Do you put Jake Burger, take the DH spot at second base, or do you put Gavin Sheets at second base? Because those were the options. So luckily, Jake, as you said, Jake's like, man, I want to play second, and I know Gavin's ass can't play second, so let me just hit this ball really hard and far so we don't have to deal with that nonsense. But, Pedro was going for the win and the win only, and he was like, I'll worry about the 10th inning when the 10th inning shows up, and I'm going to go for the win currently. I told you this is kind of what I like about Pedro. There's a lot of things I don't like, but this is a thing where he gives veterans days off, but those veterans don't get the full day off. If there's the game's on the line, you saw Ozzie do it back in the day. You saw Tony do it in the day. You saw Ricky Renteria do it back in the day. A veteran gets a day off. They're off. They're not getting pinch hit late in the game. You've seen Pedro do this multiple times this year where you're off, but, hey, it's time to bat now. And you saw in the 9th inning, Gavin got the at-bat. Benny got the at-bat. You get other players. Yoan got the at-bat. And so, yeah, I like him going for the win when the win's in front of you. They would have to deal with a terrible defense with a runner on second base for the Tigers in the 10th inning, but we don't have to deal with that because Jake Burger knows how to do his job. So it would have been fucked. It would have been really bad. I would have actually loved to see it, but we'll see it eventually later on this year because I know my man Pedro's going to do this again on a home game, and it's not going to happen. It's not going to be a Jake Burger walk-off hit, and we're going to have to see Gavin at second base or Jake at second base. But luckily, Jake knows how to hit.
Yes, hit the hell out of it. Schwo with the super chat. Thank you very much. No, again, we're not getting the pig. I know you did not mention the pig in the super chat. I just want to mention that again in case you were getting your hopes up to don't.
I will shave my facial hair off though. They have to be within 3 games for me to shave my facial hair off though, right?
Sure.
Okay. And Sean said his eyebrows too.
That's what
yes,
we
did. No,
that's what we.
I put the timestamp down.
Pull the tape.
That's what we
find the tape.
I've got it.
We said no pig, but shave your eyebrows
off. You can go back and find the tape. Real quick, just since we're on that topic, now I'm worried about my eyebrows. Can you find? I think it was Xavier, and he said something about 5.5 games back. If you want to try to search it, I do understand the point. Again, like you're in this division, they're close. They're 5.5 games back right now. I think Minnesota's still playing.
No, they lost to Cleveland Guardians.
Okay, they lost.
2-2. They split the series up there in Minnesota.
Victor, sorry. I thought Xavier. Victor said 5.5 games back of the division. They still have a chance. They do. However, playing the Yankees.
They are.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
And again, like, they do win the division. What does that get them? Like, I'm not trying to be. They should be going to make the playoffs. Like, that should be the goal of this. But like, we're gonna see a 3-game series against the Yankees. We know very much the history of the Twins versus the Yankees in the playoffs. They get their ass beat
Automatically swept.
So I just have a feeling if, hey, maybe we play the Yankees or any AL East team, we're getting our ass beat.
Hey.
Which, hey, a ticket and a ride is fun, which I'm not going to say no on.
I will take that as we sit on June 4th. A playoff series versus the Yankees or the Blue Jays or the Red Sox or whoever, and an ass whooping that immediately follows.
Hopefully.
But also, I'll be pissed that they're only going to the first round yet again. But yes, on June 4th, I'll take the fuck out of that. But Schwo said, a big-time win for chubby white guys with him, with Jake Burger, and Jokic. I don't think Jake is actually chubby. I just think he's big. Like, he has a chubby face.
Barrel-chested.
Yeah, but he's not that big. And Jokic, he's just not. He's just like flabby, not chubby.
I mean,
he used to be really chubby.
Do you know the barrel man for the Brewers?
Yes, I do.
His arms were kind of skinny. I mean, it was just more like the torso that was giving him the power. And
Yeah,
I think that's Jake. I think it's just more a lot of core workout for Jake Burger, and it pays off. I mean, he hits the hell out of it.
The man's got premium speed. He's got, and Sean's gonna bristle at that. He's got premium speed. Got premium bat. What's not to like about Jake Burger? His first start in this series, he gets the only home run for the White Sox. Go figure.
And very charming. In his interview with Vinnie Duber, just fantastic. Go check it out on our CHGO Sports YouTube channel, or check out the last podcast. It's easier probably just to check out the one-on-one, though, on YouTube. Jake mentioned, though, he's trying to make every pitch count. And he said in that at-bat, his last at-bat after striking out 3 times, that he was trying to just slow it down and not make the mistakes that he made in the previous at-bats. And I think that's something huge for this team, having a player who has gone through it up and down, and have that ability to understand what is going to keep him here, hitting the hell out of the ball. And you go and look at 2023 barrel rates. I don't know why you would. You probably have a life. I don't. I forget when I was looking or what certain filter I was looking at. I think it was just for Benintendi.
He's got 6. Remember, somebody said it's his first
he's got
yesterday,
6, yeah.
And you're like, no, that's actually 6.
He's got 6. He's tied for 66th out of 106 qualified outfielders.
Here we go.
Which is amazing.
We're coming. The man's good. He can hit, but he can't hit for power, which is the problem for Benintendi. He's been hitting lately, though. So he's going to the boogie down again. He spent a little time, a cup of coffee out there last year, and he hit a home run there last year. So maybe Benny can go to right field this year in his 3 games in New York, maybe?
As a producer.
Yeah.
Spent 20-plus years of your professional career. Professional is a very important word. We'll get to it in a second. Of your career being a producer.
Yep.
You want to get me started on that topic?
No.
Okay.
I know you were. I know you're getting your engines roaring up.
Checking out.
Super chat by Ellie Stein. He's coming to Chicago tomorrow.
Oh.
Yes. I tell you what, Ellie, enjoy Chicago.
Absolutely.
It's a city beautiful. It's the best city in the world.
Very nice weather.
Oh man.
Hasn't rained in weeks. So
can't be beat.
Right? We're experiencing a drought, but oh well. Hey, Schwo, glad that you went to Taylor Swift last night, and it was absolutely worth it with code CHGO on Game Time. $1,300 minus 20, and you enjoyed a fabulous concert. I'm not trying to bash the actual, it's just, it's
a good thing. And
that's
also,
a crazy get-in price.
Our own Kevin Kadick went, I think, with his daughters to T Swift. White Sox Twitter guy James Fox went with his wife, enjoyed some T Swift. If that's your bag, our guys at Game Time will have you in the stadium at no time at all. But yeah, $20 off. I use that if I had my first time. I'm looking to have my mom. Actually, I had my mom buy some Beyonce tickets on Game Time instead of getting some stranger that she was going to meet up with cash. It's like, Mom, what year is this? 2001? What the hell? Cash? What's going on with cash? So she went to Game Time, signed up, used code CHGO, got $20 off of her $700 tickets total. Which I still don't understand why Taylor Swift is $1,300
per ticket.
And the goddess, the best singer of all time, the best entertainer of all time is only $700, but whatever. But my mom got tickets on Game Time for Beyonce and her big time tour. I know that Taylor does a 3-hour tour or 3-hour concert about all of her songs. None of them I can name. No, I can name the Shake It Off song. Okay, that's about it. See,
it was $1,300 for
just ticket one.
Get in,
man.
Walk in without fees.
If Taylor Swift was literally singing on that porch right there, I would say get off the porch, man.
I charge $20.
Get the hell out of here.
Each for a head.
Yeah. I'm glad you guys enjoyed T Swift.
We are going to.
But I'm not. She's not my. I'm not in her target demo.
I'm going to go into the ad break because Herb kind of did that with the Game Time there. Shout out to Game Time. Not on the ad read list, but you gave him one hell of a read. So, Stephen Mark. I want to let you know about Fubo TV. That's how we watch the White Sox today. They have 140 live channels of sports, shows, movies, and news. You can stream live TV from any device. I was watching on my TV at home, and then I was doing laundry, so I put it on my phone, went down to the basement, continued to watch the White Sox game with Fubo TV. They got me covered upstairs, downstairs, and while you're traveling, you can watch local teams as well. So, I mean, you could be downstairs of a place in Wichita, Kansas. They got you covered.
And even if you didn't use your phone, you could have just paused that, recorded it.
Exactly.
Because it got, 1,000 hours of cloud DVR?
You're doing the read for me. Herb, guess what? It's included at no extra charge. And you can start watching immediately with a 7-day free trial. You could start watching the most Chicago sports for the lowest price because they have Marquee and NBC Sports Chicago included. You could also watch the NBC Finals on ABC. Raul says Nuggets in 5. You can watch the NHL Draft on ESPN when Redacted gets drafted first by the Blackhawks at number 1 overall. And, again, mainly you can watch it, the White Sox on NBC Sports Chicago with Fubo TV. Use the link in the description to sign up for 15% off your first month of Fubo Pro. Also want to let you know about our friends over at Goose Island. Herb, what you drinking?
Delicious 312 from our friends at Goose Island.
Oh, look at the Goose Honk as well. I think that's got to be my favorite Goose Island beer. It's just a classic. It's as the can says, it's bright, it's lemony, it's a bit refreshing, a bit hazy. It's a lot refreshing. It's a classic wheat ale.
Did you see our guy Dougie from the Chicago Sports Bums went to the Jewels?
Yes.
And got some 312 beer brats, which apparently
I didn't know those existed.
Yeah, me either. And then people were like, "Where are those at?" It's like at the Jewels. It's like I've been to 3 Jewels, I haven't seen them. Go and get you some 312 beer brats. He said it was on flame.
Nervous because I feel like now I'm going to go to the Jewel and I'm going to get my hopes up for dinner, and then there won't be any 312, and then I'll cry.
Gotta go when they're available. Go in the morning.
Dougie's gonna make me cry. All right. CHGO is supported by Goose Island Beer Company, Chicago's beer since 1988, and their beer roster includes the 312 Wheat Ale, the Goose IPA, the Tropical Beer Hug, the Hazy IPA as well. It's just the Hazy IPA. Mm-hmm. Okay. And the Full Pocket Pills as well, which you started the day off with.
I did.
It started the game off with. And then you switched to a 312, and the White Sox started winning. I don't know if that's that. I mean, they're both winners. But
they are.
I don't know what I'm doing. Grab an Ultra Fresh Brewery exclusive beer at Goose Island's original brew house on Clybourne Avenue in Lincoln Park, or from their tap room on Fulton Street in Westtown. Goose Island Beer Company, Chicago's beer. I understand why in radio we recorded all of our ad breaks. Because if we all did them live, it would be 20 minutes of ad breaks and people just making jokes and trying to be funny, and then just probably doing improper reads.
No, these ad breaks live are the best thing about our show. I love them.
I hope so. Schro saying on the L counted 4 people watching CHGO postgame. God bless you all. I hope you take a photo with all of them and then send that to me because it's likely true.
Hey, if you're on the L right now watching us, please comment in the section. Say, hey, I'm on the red line right now on the, I don't know, at the Roosevelt stop.
Yeah, if you are on the purple line too, comment as well because you're not. It doesn't exist.
It's not a real thing.
It's a tax write-off, folks. It doesn't exist. Okay. Oh, you updated the social graphic too, Steven. Look at you. That's a great photo.
It's a much better picture, right?
That's exciting. I love that. All right, can I edit that tweet and let's talk about Jake Burger here?
Yeah.
Just because again, like, how could you take this guy out of the lineup? And the question is, then, like, does Yohan Moncada stay in the lineup? Because we just talked about Yasmani Grandal being injured, and Yohan Moncada seems pretty banged up still. He doesn't seem extremely healthy and on it. What do they do with the players that cost $72 and $75 million respectively, in Moncada and Grandal, because they are important to this core, but also Jake Burger might just be better. And at this point, like, screw the core. Let's win baseball games. Like, that's, I think, what's most important.
Yeah, I mean, they're going on the road right now, so it's not pertinent to have him in the lineup on the road because he's a different player on the road, which is weird. I don't know why, but he is a different player on the road than he is at home. So I was furious when I saw the lineup on Friday and Saturday with no Jake Burger in the lineup. I'm like, these are home games where he murders at the crib. So put him in the lineup, Pedro, you jerk. But, yeah, every home game he should be starting. That should be non-negotiable. Not taking out – and I got you, Chuck. I hear people say this trade Moncada thing. It's not going to happen. He's due a lot of money. And if you think he's bad, guess what everybody else does? They think he's bad too, with a lot of money attached to his name. You're not going to get anything back from him. But Jake Burger has to be in the lineup, and the lineup that he has to be in is that designated hitter. If you're going to play Eloy out in right field, which I disagree with, but that's too. Where you want him to be played. You saw how he played today. I think he misjudged that double late in the game because he's not a good right fielder. So, but if you're going to play him in right. And then Jake Burger has to be designated hitter. I don't care about handedness. Jake Burger's better than Gavin Sheets. He should be getting those at-bats over Gavin Sheets if it's a toss-up. On the road, play Gavin Sheets all you want at the designated hitter. But at home, if it's between Gavin Sheets and Jake Burger, I don't care if a right-hander or a left-hander's on the bump, that's Jake Burger's spot. You have to put him in the game because all he does is hit at that damn ballpark. And to not do it is to cut your nose to spite your face. It's a dumbass move, and I can't believe Pedro's done this multiple times already, as if this man hasn't shown you time and time again that he rakes at home, and you need runs. We saw they scored 3 runs on Friday. Wasn't a lot. They scored 2 runs on Saturday via the wild pitch. Nobody drove any runs in. And then today, you got 6 runs, 4 of them, 4, driven in by Jake Burger. So what's the holdup? Stop having other people in the game. You should make a lineup and say, this is that game's at guaranteed rate. When you go through the lineup, before anybody else gets placed in their spot, Jake Burger's in that lineup because he's proven time and time again that he is a champion at home. So you have to play him there. On the road, where if they go to the Boogie Down in New York, play him one of those 3 games. Have him ready for a pitch hitting role. If Yoan needs a break, put him at third base. If Andrew Vaughn needs a break at first, put him at first base. But other than that, I don't necessarily see him being in that lineup every day for the New York series because I think other players are much better for him than him on the road. I don't know what you feel about him playing every day, either home or away.
Yes.
Every day?
Yes.
No matter where?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
And where?
Anywhere. Second base. I get that he has
second base?
Yeah.
Roaming.
Jake Burger's better.
He is better.
I'm going to read you a stat here.
But he's better. Roaming's a better second baseman.
I know. I'm going to read you an important stat, and at least for Yankee Stadium, I think this is important. It's the number 12.
Okay.
And I know I get annoying with home run numbers, especially with that guy Conforto.
You don't get annoying.
But he has hit 12 home runs. Do you know how many other players have hit 12 home runs on the team? This is an important number. Yeah, that's an important one. So he does something very unique, kind of, to the White Sox. Unique would probably mean that one person does this. 2 people, I guess, have done this. He hits the hell out of the baseball.
Correct.
Let me tell you about a guy who they're going to see in the.
So he's hit 12 home runs. How many at home?
I still think that. Let me just tell you. Let's just
11.
Yes, 11. But if they are bringing the eye pitch on the road, and I think that's only been there for 1 series, that could change. What he does, and I don't think that this is he does this so consistently at this point in 2023 that you can't overlook it. Minimum 500 pitches, and you were going to get me started on Benintendi about barrels, and this is where I was going to go with this, and this is why I went back to Burger.
Okay.
Minimum 500 pitches seen, and the pitch percent basically their barrel percentage on just pitches that they've seen. Number 1 in baseball, Aaron Judge, 3.9%.
He's decent.
Number 2, Jake Burger.
Holy hell.
3.6%.
I thought you were going to keep on going.
No. I think that had to be a barrel. 20 barrels in less than 550 pitches seen. I get that he strikes out a lot, but it's the the three true outcomes, and he doesn't really walk that much. So it's kind of just like 50-50. He either walks or strikes out. He might strike out 9 times against the Yankees. He might hit one ball like 118 miles per hour, and it will definitely leave that Little League ballpark of Yankee Stadium. So, yes, Jake Burger should start more, because then we get to share more clips of Vinnie Duber interviewing him. Hi, Vinnie.
Hey, guys. What's up?
Hello.
Nothing much. We're talking to Vinnie Duber now, and you can follow him on Twitter at Vinnie Duber. He's our CHGO White Sox beat writer. Also, a quick shout out to Jared Willis. Obviously, you're not Jared, but you can follow Jared on Twitter at JWillis, Y's instead of I's on Twitter. He wrote 2 columns up at All CHGO, and that's where you can check out Jared and Vinnie's coverage of the Chicago White Sox over at allchgo.com. Vinnie, very exciting game. We just started talking about Jake Burger, and he did it again. You won Click to Pick. It's the worst segment in our show. We consistently forget about it. Most of the time, they lose the baseball game, so why talk about them doing anything good? But, hey, Jake Burger did the big thing. He made fireworks, and his wife is going to be happy.
Very true. He looked very happy himself after that one. We got to talk to him after the game, obviously, and he was ecstatic, so no surprise there. But listen, when Jake Burger plays in this ballpark, there's a very good chance that the ball is going to leave this ballpark. That's usually what happens when he gets in the lineup. So, road burger and home burger, obviously those are 2 very different sets of results at the moment, but when he's on the south side and he's swinging it, good things usually happen, and today they happen in a very clutch moment, giving the White Sox a walk-off win.
That was literally the discussion that you were just joining, was the home and road splits about Burger, and you brought it up in your interview with him, and, he just mentioned he likes the fans, he likes fireworks, and that's how he got in the conversation about, his wife saying, it's a failure if he doesn't make fireworks, which is a great quote. But you have to keep playing them, right? Like, at some point, those splits are just laughable. Like, he hits the ball very, very hard. So they should put the guy that hits the ball very, very hard in the lineup, no matter if they're in Chicago, New York, L.A. Like, I would like to see more Jake Burger. Is that the future, no matter if they're at guaranteed rate field or not?
I knew you White Sox fans would find a way to complain after a walk-off grand slam, but
I want more. I'm cheering him on.
Listen, I think we're gonna keep seeing what we've been seeing from Pedro. This is a new world now that this team is quote unquote completely healthy, that he's got kind of more guys than he's got spots for, in terms, certainly in certain positions, and Burger fits into that. Gavin Sheets fits into that. Now you've got Romy Gonzalez fitting into that a little bit too. I think we're going to keep seeing Pedro manage the way he's been managing, though. I don't think anything will change on that front. And if you don't see Jake Burger in the lineup one day, I don't think it's because he's, out to make you mad. I think it's that he thinks that the matchups favor whatever lineup that he puts out there. So it's something that he obviously thinks about quite a bit. He talks about how he wants to put the best lineup to win that game out on the field every day. And you can agree or disagree. You might line them up differently if you either won a manager for a day contest or were, playing as these White Sox in the video game or something like that. But the way Pedro's going to do it is certainly based on matchups and based on who he thinks is going to give them the best shot that day.
And today, of course, we had that great outing by Michael Kopech. 7 innings pitched, 9 strikeouts, only 1 walk. What is it about him going against these Motor City Kitties that he just enjoys? Because, as Sean said earlier, he was like 0 for 30. The Tigers are 0 for 30 until that Akil Baddoo bunt and then subsequent home run by Torkelson. But what do you have to say about his outing and what worked for him today? Because it looked like the electric stuff was back for Michael Kopech.
Yeah, this was far more reminiscent of the 2 games prior to his start against the Angels earlier on this homestand. Obviously not the same shutout-styled numbers at the end there, but again, 9 strikeouts today. Didn't give up really much of anything. Just happened that one of the balls went over the wall. So, it was looking like that Kopech of old, or of recent, I should say, and looking like a guy who can do this for the White Sox on a pretty consistent basis. And I think that's going to be what they're looking for.
Can you not hear? Oh, people now, loud noises. I think we're playing charades with Vinnie Duber. He's going to have to move. It was very fun watching Michael Kopech. And it's good to see that the rotation's in all right health. Like, I don't want to take Clevenger's first start coming back from the IL too seriously.
He was decent. He was decent as hell.
Did the Tigers look decent in all this series?
No.
That's just the point I was making.
No.
I understand. What, he went 5 innings?
But I think
so. Like, I'm like a little bit of length there. Like, I'm not trying to say it's all.
Yeah.
But like, it's gonna be interesting to see him against the Yankees.
Yeah, I don't want to see that at all. But I think it was the White Sox pitching that did it to the Tigers. Sometimes pitchers step up, and I didn't see anything leaking over the middle, pitches that were middle like we saw versus the Angels, and they just crushed them. These guys and the starting staff and the bullpen did the job this week, and so you got to applaud them. I mean, the weekend in Detroit was a little bit different, but you already know my feelings about Clevenger. He pitched well on Friday. Saturday, got a good outing again. And then we have another great outing by Michael Kopech. So this is what's going to carry this team. As we saw this weekend, they didn't score a lot of runs. The starters and the bullpen had them covered. So,
you good? Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, let's go to the bullpen, though, because as Herb said, not only was the starting pitching brilliant, but Liam Hendriks was fantastic in that ninth, getting the win. Jake Berger said on NBC Sports Chicago that it was just great to get him that win. It's an awesome moment. But did Liam talk post-game about how he felt after today? Because this looked like the best eye test if we're able to scout. We watch baseball enough, I think, to just say he looks better than he did last game. It looked better today. He looked just healthier. The pitches looked cleaner. I don't know if he talked about that postgame.
Yeah, he says it's getting better, and certainly you're right. He looked like that guy that he has always been, or that he's been the last several years out there today. And particularly for me, that means, the jumping around and screaming and fist pumping and swearing. I mean, when you're getting that from Liam Hendriks in a 1-2-3 inning, I mean, that's basically all you can ask for. He pitched the 9th inning today, the first back-to-back since being activated. He says he's feeling better. He's getting stronger, and he's getting closer to the guy that he wants to be. Obviously, he's chasing perfection, and so who knows if he'll ever be at that point, even if he gets back to kind of the physical feeling that he was the last few years before, obviously, what he went through this offseason. But yeah, he's looking better and back, and they're going to try to probably get him back to that closer's role pretty soon. Maybe this was that today almost, that he was talking. He came out in the 9th inning. Yeah, it was a tie game, but he threw in that more familiar spot for him after pitching in the 8th on Monday and then in the 7th inning yesterday. So, listen, he's been really good the last 2 days, obviously, but he's looking like that guy that they need him to be, but that obviously they want him to be more than anything. Whether you saw it or not, this was National Cancer Survivors Day, and this is when he picks up that first win since coming back. So he called it like a scripted moment kind of thing, that this was the day that he was able to pick up a win after a very good performance from him.
Hell yeah. And also, he got his 200th career strikeout with the White Sox. Shout out to Chris Kampka for this tweet. And then I was like, well, that's interesting. And also 200 strikeouts to 24 walks. And I think he got another one, right?
That works.
So I think he's at 201 now. So shout out to Liam Hendriks for that. Then I was like, we could define this a little bit more. So let's play a little game. Liam Hendriks is now the 8th player in White Sox history to have 75 saves and 200 strikeouts in their career. Can you name the 7 other players?
Roberto Hernandez.
Correct.
Bobby Jenks.
Correct.
Bobby Thigpen.
Correct.
Sergio Santos wasn't around enough.
Sergio Santos is definitely not on this list.
Addison Reed.
No.
Ooh, so close.
There's an era guy. That era. There's one guy kind of in that era.
The 83. Hoyt Wilhelm.
Hoyt Wilhelm.
Yeah.
He was age 40 to 45
Shingo?
when he did it. Huh?
Shingo Takatsu?
No. There's a guy in that era, but a little prior. And there's a guy in the Addison Reed era. I mean, there's a guy
not Addison Reed, then.
Before we were all born. No, not Addison Reed.
Okay. I don't know. I'm trying to think of the era you're talking about, like the 2000 to 2005 era, who was closing games out for the White Sox.
Keith Folk.
You got it.
And then one more that you guys can definitely get.
And that what year?
Addison Reed era. I'm not going to give the years away unless you guys get
Addison Reed was traded for Matt Davidson, so that's around 2013, 14.
You could expand it a little bit more.
2016, 17?
Around that area.
It's not Billy Koch.
Vinny?
He wasn't that good.
You're Taft?
I think
a free agent signing? I mean, he's I think he's still in the league.
Holy hell. And when you say it, I'm going to be so pissed.
I'm surprised this is the guy you guys haven't gotten. Steven? Anything?
He's the big guy with Samardzija and Melky. Who'd they sign that year?
Yeah.
It's that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, David Robertson.
David Robertson.
Yeah,
you got it.
I forgot. Cool. I blanked out of those years. Ugh.
Good job. The only guy you didn't get, Terry Forster, which if you couldn't get David Robertson,
I would have never got that.
Who's active.
I don't know who Terry Forster is.
But shout out to Terry and shout out to Liam for joining that.
19 years old, Terry Forster, when he started that.
I know, right?
Young as hell.
Oh, very young. And he started 33 games. Roberto Hernandez started 3 games. Hoyt Wilhelm started 3 games. And then Terry Forster started 33 games. So, I mean, kind of like Liam. Liam started off his career as a starter and then moved to a closer. I don't know much about Terry Forster, but I'll make that assumption. Anyways, very good to see him back, though. And the bullpen just looks more reliable. I mean, we just had that off-day show, about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Oh,
yeah, we had that one, too. But 2 or 3 weeks ago where we talked about what position group has you worried the most. And right now at this point, I have faith in a lot of those guys in the bullpen. I mean, Joe Kelly looked good. Kendall Graveman, I don't know if he still has that streak, but I don't know if Pedro's talked about the position that the bullpen's been able to put him in because, again, you win a sweep, the bullpen has to be great.
Yeah, we talked about it a few times before and after today's game, just saying how, their efficiency, their reliability basically has made his job a lot easier. And then obviously you throw Liam Hendriks into that mix and it's, one more inning that you don't have to worry about. So, they've been really, really good, turned things around from being really, really bad that first month of the season. And I was talking today, I talked to both Kendall Graveman and Reynaldo Lopez before the game. Pedro's kind of played a part in that, in kind of telling these guys, reminding these guys how good they are and how good they've been. And they've said that that's helped them. I mean, you guys maybe might see it as kind of just regular old coach speak or regular old coach trying to motivate his guys, but from the guys, that has helped big time, and particularly it helped Reynaldo, and Kendall said that it's helped a lot of the guys too. So the manager has played a role in getting this bullpen turned around a little bit as well, and I think that the performance obviously has looked a lot more like what folks expected from a veteran-laden group like this, plus the kind of coming out parties for Keenan Middleton and Gregory Santos. You throw that all together and you've got a really deep bullpen, and now Liam Hendriks is obviously looking to return to the point of being the anchor of that group.
And I was wondering, we were talking earlier in the show about that 9th inning and all the substitutions that Pedro did there. I actually love it, but did anybody, either Pedro, Jake, or anybody talk about what if it didn't work? Like if Jake didn't hit the home run and they get out in the 9th inning? We've been going through the lineups like, that defense would have been tough. Did they talk about that, or just Pedro's like, hey, I was just trying to win. I don't care about the 10th until the 10th got there?
Pedro said that Burger was going to be moved off DH to second base, so they were going to lose the DH from there on out if they went to the 10th.
Oh boy! So then I just have a question. The bench was empty, right? So who would have been on second base in the 10th inning? Doesn't matter because Jake Burger hit a grand slam.
Well, Burger. If Burger was the last
No. But if they went to the bottom of the second, he would be at
second, like playing the position of second.
So then Gavin Sheets,
he would have been at second base.
That's where the DH would be?
Right.
No, there would be no DH.
Right, but the pitcher would be where Gavin Sheets batted.
Correct.
Okay, my misunderstanding. Okay. Cool. All right, let's take a break because that positioning is interesting because then Jake Burger would be at second base, and then Eloy Jimenez, who has just returned off the IL with his appendectomy, has just played 6 of the last 7 games in right field. So Jake Burger at second base and Eloy Jimenez in right field. What a defensive positioning.
Hey, I would love to see that again. I love the man just going for the win when the win's in front of you, and worry about when the bad stuff comes to fruition. I think. And I know we got to go to break. I think it's a good thing that your manager's playing to win when the win's in front of you, and deal with all the negativity of, why'd you play Jake Burger at second? He made that error, blah, 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 when it comes up. And so I like it. It's a little unorthodox, but hell, this team is 26-35. Unorthodox has to be happening with this team.
Again, I'm not complaining.
I got you.
They just swept. All good vibes, baby. Let's go. Let's take a quick break, and then let's talk about Eloy in right field. Want to let you know about our friends over at FOCO. As you can see on the set, not only do we have the 33 and the third book about Tusk, and the White Sox are 3-0 since I put that on the set, just to let everybody know. And Steven, if it gets moved, I'm going to scream. I'm going to throw a fit.
All right, I won't even touch it. Every show, Cubs show even, it's going to be out there.
That needs to be on the table for every show.
Got it.
I know the Bears are the moneymaker, but if the White Sox are good, baby.
Somebody just gave you a thumbs down for that.
Boo. But shout out to FOCO. FOCO's a thumbs up. They have great bobbleheads over at FOCO.com, FOCO.com. They have that Southpaw one. They have the TA one. They have a Luis Robert one in the Southside jersey as well. So go check out their deep roster of hoodies, shoes, signs, bobbleheads, and everything in between. That includes Aloha shirts, straw hats, polos, bags, everything you need for a baseball game. And you can get fitted in the best sports gear around over at FOCO.com, FOCO.com, or click the link in the description below. For all non-presale items, use the promo code CHGO for 10% off. ComEd is a fantastic and cool and chill place. I love them very much, Herb. They're my favorite sponsor.
They're my favorite energy company.
Yes, that's what I was looking for.
The ComEd Energy Efficiency.
All the sponsors are my favorite sponsors.
This is my favorite energy company of all time. The ComEd Energy Efficiency Program is committed to helping families and businesses in the communities they serve, helping manage energy usage and lower energy bills now and into the future, Sean.
ComEd offers a wide array of incentives on lighting and other efficiency upgrades to commercial, industrial, and public sector customers of all sizes across the territory. ComEd also offers free facility assessments that can help find energy-saving opportunities, like for HVAC systems, commercial kitchen equipment, or industrial processes.
As a person that has listened and done this read for a long time, I already know how it works. But, Sean, can you just tell me how it works?
If you know, you know.
For these people who are listening outside?
And if you don't know, an authorized engineer will work with you to develop a detailed assessment plan specific to your goals and needs. And these can be done in person or virtually and last approximately 2 hours. And within 3 to 4 weeks, customers will receive a report detailing energy efficiency projects they could start working on. Vinnie
5.
Duber,
Oh, sorry. I thought you were just counting. Sorry. Vinnie?
Immediately.
There it is.
Each recommendation will include estimated energy savings, project costs, potential incentives, and simple paybacks. And if you own a business, do not wait. Get started saving money and energy today. For energy saving tips, lighting incentives, or to schedule your free facility assessment, go to ComEd.com/poweringbiz.
Did you just say ComEd.com/poweringbiz?
B-I-Z. Schedule today. All right, let's go to Eloy Jimenez. Before I start, again, being a child, what did Pedro Grifol have to say, if anything, about Eloy Jimenez in right field? Because since he's returned, he's played played right field in 6 of the 7 games since coming off the IL.
Yeah, I mean, nothing new. I mean, this is kind of what he said was going to happen right before Eloy came back, even that this was going to be, a thing. He said that he wasn't going to play him out there every day, but here that kind of has been the case, and I think we could have forecasted that that's the way it was going to work for the most part. This is the way that they squeeze all these guys into that lineup, is by having Eloy out there and right. It's the easiest way to do that, certainly. And so, obviously we saw that play today where he wasn't able to track down that ball hit deep into the corner, but I think for the most part, you kind of take plays like that with everything else going on, and he's certainly made his fair share of the easy plays, the plays he's supposed to make. Right, he's made those plays. You haven't really seen any sort of horrible mistakes out there. So it's something that you might not prefer if you're a White Sox fan. You might be doing that thing where you cringe every time a ball's hit to right field, but it's the way for them right now to get their best lineup on the field, I think.
And I want to depart from Eloy for a second, but today, and I got to bring up some negativity, today, pitcher with almost a 6 ERA and Matthew Boyd was flummoxing the White Sox. He got a season-high 9 strikeouts versus the White Sox. Is there anything that the players, the batters, or Pedro himself said what was working for Boyd? Because I didn't see anything spectacular, 92-mile-per-hour fastball, a changeup to go with it. But what did they have to say about how he was pitching and why they struggled so much against it?
Yeah, I mean, they were sticking to the positives mostly after a win and not necessarily going down and breaking down where they screwed up here. But what I will say is, you saw today in today's game kind of the I don't want to say Jekyll and Hyde, but how good this White Sox offense can be and how bad it can be in the same game. I think before the game, Pedro was talking about how this team is still not disciplined enough. They're chasing too much, far more than they would like to see them do that. The coaching staff. And it's not there yet. It's not everybody's clicking. Guys have not gotten hot yet, even though the wins have come a little bit more regularly the last month or so than they did for the first month of the season. And then you went out and you saw an undisciplined lineup strike out 13, 14 times in the first 8 innings or whatever, until the 9th inning rolls around. And what is it that sets up the game-winning play but those walks from a pinch-hitting Yoan Moncada and Tim Anderson at the top of the order? Tim Anderson, a guy you wouldn't really expect to be walking at all. Moncada, that's something he's supposed to have in his skill set, but hasn't shown it maybe as much as he would like to. And then Jake Burger, with that, hits a game-winning grand slam. So, I mean, this team can do these things. It's just a matter of doing them with some consistency, doing them on a regular basis. They are going to have days like they had today where they get carved up by the Matthew Boyds of the world, and that's very frustrating for the people who are watching and for the White Sox themselves, because look at this lineup. It should be bashing a guy like Matthew Boyd, right? But that's going to happen until they see the fruits of their labor on pitch selection and plate discipline really pay off. It hasn't paid off yet. Pedro talks about all the work that they're doing, and I believe that they're doing that work, but it's a matter of that work paying off. And then in the 9th inning, just a couple at bats is all you really need. Pedro even shouted out Gavin Sheets' at bat, which ended in a strikeout, but as being a good at bat and working the pitch count of a guy, by the way, who just was named the AL relief pitcher of the month. So you're sitting there on one hand and you're like, how is this lineup not handling this guy with the 6 ERA out there? And then on the other hand, it's, wow, how did this lineup just not knock around, but get a lot of guys on base and then end up with a 4 spot on a guy who was just the best relief pitcher in the American League last month. So maybe Jekyll and Hyde is a good term. Maybe that the highs and lows are a better way to phrase it. But this offense is not certainly clicking the way that anyone expected it to, and yet it's still showing that it has that potential. Whether that potential is going to come to the surface enough for them to dig out of this hole, we'll find out.
I think part of the 9th inning was mainly just experience with Lang. They saw him on the 28th, they saw him on the 3rd, and I saw both times on Twitter. I know we all could be a hellscape, folks, but I saw the same graphic each time after Alex Lang finished his inning, where he struck out 2 White Sox each time, and it was all of the curveballs that were out of the zone that the White Sox swung at. They didn't do that today, and that's why Tim Anderson was walking. That's why
that's going to work. That's the work, right? That's the work they're talking about. And so maybe it takes, maybe they need to get hit in the head 100 times, not literally, but hit over the head with that fact 100 times before it comes around. But hey, it finally worked. The work paid off.
It's just now in September when that Dickie-wearing freak comes back. Are they able to keep that work consistent, because it's going to be a long time until they see Detroit, and Lang has proven to be a very difficult pitcher for them to size up. So, we got two dislikes. I mean, it's your thing. I'm just stealing your thing
because you're talking about the Dickie, man.
You taught me about it.
Hey, the Twitter and YouTube people love the Dickie.
Sky point to the Dickie. But yeah, he's a really difficult guy to go up against. So, I mean, come September, if they go back up against Alec Lang, I won't be too surprised if they're swinging and missing at every curveball, just because that work might not be super fresh in the mind, but hopefully they can continue to build. But that's just kind of the point that we kept talking about. They're going to go up against the Yankees. We have an off-day show tomorrow.
And Vinny, I know you weren't there yesterday, but the nature of yesterday's game, where all the runs score on a wild pitch, 3 runs. It's the first time in the history of baseball that happens, where no other runs are scored via the run-scoring RBIs or something like that. But pregame, did the players still talk about what was going on, and Pedro talk about what was going on and how improbable that game was and how bad offensively they were, and still got the dub against the Tigers yesterday?
Yeah, I think the guys who are in the middle of that maybe don't want to focus on that as much as we might like to, because it's very entertaining for us, but it kind of speaks to some futility for them maybe a little bit. So maybe that's not their favorite topic. Pedro was asked about it again pregame, and decided to turn his focus elsewhere, saying, look at some of the little things that allowed that to happen. Obviously, they had the bases loaded. That's a good thing. And obviously, Yoan Moncada stays at third base on the ground ball to the pulled in infield. That's what Pedro decided to talk about today, saying that normally the White Sox like to do the run on contact play, but for whatever reason, they had it in their head that, hey, pay attention. Make sure you're not running on contact. Make sure you evaluate the ball that is hit, and that's exactly what Yoan Moncada did. So that could have very easily been a base running snafu there by the White Sox, but instead they just stayed put and was able to turn it into a win when the wild pitch came shortly thereafter.
They did that earlier in the game with Andrew Benintendi going home on the contact play, which I never understood the contact play, especially that ball was hit like right to the pitcher when Andrew Benintendi went home, and he was out pretty easily. But that's smart. They learn from their mistakes on Saturday. They learn from their mistakes on Sunday. Look at this, the White Sox. Just got to mess up first, and then they learn it. That's good.
Again, I mean, and you talk about getting hit in the mouth 100 times. I just feel like that's going to be the Yankee series coming up.
Hey, man.
I understand
they
all
don't have
those
the great
mistakes, but
pitchers
again,
up
it's
there.
like we got to sweep against the Tigers, got to sweep against the Royals.
Clark Schmidt.
They were also really awful in April when they were facing a ton of AL Central teams.
Severino and maybe Garrett Cole.
It's
Get some dubs.
TBD right now.
Yeah.
Why are you assuming Cole? What have you seen?
I don't know. Somebody said that Cole
yeah.
might be pitching on Wednesday, but it is TBD.
Pitched on the third last, so that'd be a quick.
That was Saturday.
Their ace.
Saturday to Wednesday.
He's listed to pitch on Friday for them, according to ESPN. So,
oof, they think they can get an easy dub versus the White Sox. How insulting! They should take that to heart when they go to the boogie down.
We'll see. We'll update you tomorrow on our off day show. Vinny, any other things that we might have missed from today? I guess the rather last thing I wanted to bring up with Eloy, we didn't see anything too awful. I know you mentioned the ball that ended up turning into a ground rule double. Probably wouldn't have been a double anyways, just because it was a ball for him difficult to field. But he does look still tentative out there. I mean, there was the play that he ended up making that was near the wall, and it was just like, oh, is he going to try to jump? Is he going to try to, make a play at the wall? And he was like, it kind of felt like he wasn't sure and really confident that like, oh, hey, I know that this ball is going to die short of the warning track. It's still holding my breath anytime a ball's been hit over there, but nothing awful has happened yet. And as long as he's able to do that, hey, we'll take it. One homer since coming off the IL, but I feel like more are coming. So
hit a couple
it
home
does
runs
provide
in
them
his
their
damn
best
bandbox
lineup.
in Yankee Stadium. He can crush a couple home runs in his bandbox.
Hopefully.
And he went to the net and didn't stay in the net this time. It was all good. He's learning.
Didn't commit to the net. I did commit to the wall. So hey, we are learning. Anyways, any final notes, or are we good?
Mostly fine, I will say, on the outfield defense topic. Boy, Luis Robert Jr. just keeps making plays, doesn't he?
Correct.
I mean, the guy is playing some fantastic defense in center field this year after last year when it was noticeably different. So for him to be back on that kind of gold glove track is a big deal for the White Sox. Saved the game at one point today, by the way. Also, I believe that was the 8th inning when Joe Kelly was in there. So Luis Robert Jr., you can say whatever you want about Eloy in right field. That will continue to be a talking point, obviously. But he's got probably the best help that he could have out there in center field, as long as he doesn't, run in front of him and almost injure him like he did in Toronto.
Absolutely.
Luis, like the other day, he didn't make a catch. He dove for, kind of like did a foot first dive for, but he was in like left center field, and he ran, I don't know how far, and he almost caught that ball. It was either Friday or Saturday. So he's even playing defense well on the balls he's not catching, because that range he has is just out of pocket. He's back to 2020 Luis Robert type of defense, and it's good to see, because sometimes the bat's not working. The defense has always been working this year.
He's surpassed. We're at the 61 game mark.
He's already passed it up.
Well, he's played it so much. I mean, that's the real thing. Is Luis Robert has been healthy. You look at the early Fielding Bible Awards watch from Sports Info Solutions Baseball for defensive run saves. The leader right now is Kevin Kiermaier. He won in 2020. Guess what? That didn't mean anything, because Luis Robert won the award. Who is right behind him is Luis Robert Jr. And now with that play, probably bringing him up higher in this list. I think he's around probably 10. Kiermaier's at 11. So
wow.
We should see
already 10 defensive runs saved already.
Yes, sir.
Jesus Christ,
he's good. That's why Vinny brought it up.
I know, but I didn't think it was that damn good. God damn.
The one thing I was going to bring up though is they should pad that wall more. I feel like maybe it would deaden some balls off the wall, but oh well. I mean, if Luis Robert's going to be running into the walls like that, let's just give him a crash pad out there.
Just have an advertisement with like Mattress Firm.
Yeah, right. There you go. Just make the entire
hit into the Mattress Firm outfield.
No, but make the entire wall
out of mattresses.
Yeah. I mean, we saw Aaron Judge run into the fence. I mean, didn't we learn from Aaron Rowand?
Yeah.
I mean, not us. I guess. I mean,
Phillies.
That was in Dodger Stadium. So I mean, I guess was Aaron Rowand a Dodger, right?
No, he was a Philly and a Giant.
Never was a Dodger.
I don't think so. Maybe at the end of his career.
Maybe I'm just thinking of the other Bay team. Anyways, that's going to do it for the CHGO White Sox postgame show. Make sure you join us tomorrow for our off-day show. I think it's a weird time. It's like 5:30.
It is 5:30.
So, odd time. Okay.
Yeah.
Herb's openly disgusted.
I mean, it's just in the middle of the day.
Easy.
It's like,
it'll be an easier drive home, Herb.
yeah,
true.
You're true. True that.
It'd be tougher to get in, no?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Usually going in at 4:30 is usually not a problem.
I'll leave at my house at like 11 a.m. tomorrow and get here at 4. It'll be great. That's Vinnie Duber. You can follow him on Twitter at Vinnie Duber. He's our CHGO White Sox beat writer. We're going to be posting more clips of his interview with Jake Burger. I thought it was very apropos that he said, it's a failure if I don't make fireworks. And here he is hitting walk-off grand slams and stuff. A lot of people were mad at him, the St. Louis pizza take. But, hey, you hit a grand slam to walk it off. No one can be mad.
What did I tell him? I said, you're going to say this, people are going to be mad, and the next time you hit a home run, everybody will forget about it. And I'm sure that's exactly what's happened.
I will never forget. That's Vinnie Duber. You can follow him on Twitter at Vinnie Duber. That's Herb Lawrenc. You can follow him on Twitter at Ecknerwall23. He's our CHGO White Sox community leader. I'm Sean Anderson. You can follow me on Twitter at Sean_W_Anderson. Thank you to Stephen Nicholas for producing the show, and thank you all for hanging out and watching us today. I think we're at Groot Santos likes, so make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button. We would have.
Sorry, my phone just turned on. Scott Schoenweiss likes.
Scott Schoenweiss likes. Thank you for any contribution for 60. No, no Tyler Danish.
Rest in peace.
No Hector Santiago.
Tyler Danish, I believe. Right?
Who?
I think he passed away. I think.
No.
All right, he's still with us. All right, thank you.
Why'd you kill Tyler?
Sorry, I didn't kill Tyler Danish.
He was in that bad car accident, but he did not die.
Oh, okay. Well,
still with us. Thank you, Tyler.
All right. Well,
being alive.
Okay, I didn't know that. All right. Anyways, before we kill anyone else who's alive, thank you for watching the CHGO White Sox postgame show. We will see you tomorrow at 5:30, and make sure you follow us on Twitter at CHGO_White Sox. We'll see you tomorrow. Go Sox.